What up to the YouTube world? Hey, I am sitting over here in Timbuktu Nowheres, Kansas. I am, 40 miles outside of Garner, Kansas? I think that's right. Let's see here. Let me look for you. Got a load of chap pallets coming into... It's going from, where the heck was I? From Houston to Gardner, Kansas. And right now, I have to zoom in on the map to see what town this is, because it's teeny weeny. I'm in Garnett, I think. Garnett, Kansas, just outside of it. I was going to head into, there's a Love's about 20 miles ahead of me, but you know how Love's are as far as finding a spot. Sometimes you get the ixnay on the spot skay pretty quick. So, you know, it could be pretty early, especially it was Friday night. I got a little worried, but anyway, there's a little fueling station here. It's got diesel lanes just outside of Garnett. And, I don't know, 5, 6, probably fit 10 trucks in here pretty comfortably. I said, oh yeah, I'm doing it. So I'm 47 miles away from my drop, which happens Monday at 6:30 a.m. So I have to get a little early start, but no big deal there, provided I wake up, because man, I've been sleeping like a rock. My S-bar heater is failing. It was blowing white smoke real bad. I took it apart, cleaned it out a little bit. I didn't have any of the rebuild parts. Didn't have the atomizer screen. I didn't have the fuel filter. But I was heading out. I had ordered them, but I was heading out, so I just put it back together with the parts that I had. I kind of cleaned them out by hand a little bit. And she worked like a charm until like day 2. And then she actually started smoking inside the cab of the truck, inside the sleeper. That scared the crap out of me. I don't know what was going on there. Then I started getting some weird codes like blower motor, which is scary. Now I'm getting glow pin. Also, so I ordered a glow pin even though I didn't need one for the rebuild. I figured if I'm going to rebuild it, I might as well rebuild that. I may get into it today and get a look at the glow pin. I have time today. I may do that. But, just to see if she'll start, because it is a little annoying not having it, I'll tell you that. So what I really wanted to talk about was Uber and Uber accessorials. So I watched Sammy Make Sense's video today. He was talking about getting held up at, I think it's got to be the Ball Corporation, and 16 hours, 17 hours, something obnoxious like that. That's crazy talk. Anyway, he was wondering what the cap was on detention, which I think it's 4 hours. I think on hour 5 you end up hitting layover. So I think Uber is $75 an hour for 4 hours, max out at $300 with layover. I think that's right, which is pretty good. I mean, that's what I believe. That's the range that you get a lot of these megacorps, contract freight. I think a lot of these guys in the contract freight world are in that range. However, Uber was like the only one in the spot world that was paying that fare. I was really hoping that accessorials were going to start moving in a direction to help trucking companies stay liquid, but they have been, in my experience, moving the other way. I've been getting a lot of rate cons that talk about 4 hours before detention starts. I've been seeing rate cons at 4 hours and then $25 an hour after that, maxing out at 4 hours, so like $100 layover. Crazy talk, absolute crazy talk. And then no discussion from the brokers on it, none. So you'll negotiate a rate, you go back and forth. Sometimes you say, yeah, why don't you call me back if you can find some more room on that. They call you back. Okay, we can make your price work. Okay, cool. And then they send over completely outside the realm of industry standard accessorials. So I was really hoping accessorials were going to start to move into a direction to help carriers stay liquid, but they have not. They are moving the other way. So that leads me into Uber. Uber is lowering their accessorial rates because of industry standard. So Uber's new accessorial rate on February 18th is going to be $40 an hour after 2 hours, and that maxes out at 5 hours, so a $200 layover. And $150 TONU. So they dropped their TONU too. I think their TONU was $300 before, $250. TONU, not truck order, not used. If anybody's as green as I am and is trying to learn from these videos. So that sucks. That is the industry moving in a direction which is going to squeeze carriers more and give shippers more leeway. I mean, ultimately, if you have 3 hours to load a truck before you got to worry about even paying $40, that's not a huge motivation on shippers to get trucks loaded. Whatever. Yeah, well, we got somebody sick, so we don't have to hustle. It's not our fault. That sucks. You know who's to blame for this? We are. Carriers on the spot market are to blame for this. We're taking these loads. If we were telling these guys to stuff it, accessorial rates would be moving in the other direction. And shippers would have a pinch. They would have a squeeze. Managers would be in the warehouse loading trucks when somebody got hurt or somebody was sick, because that's real money. The reality is it's always been real money on the carrier side. It's just not real money on the shipper side. And maybe a lot of shippers are paying more like $50, $75 an hour detention, and brokers are harvesting it. But I don't think so. Harvesting the difference is what I should have said about brokers. I don't think that's the case. When I don't see shippers hustling, when I don't see them have this big concern that I got a whole line of trucks, I don't think they're paying a lot of money for us to sit there. So, with that all being said, yeah, and can we leave the freight on the dock and go? Yeah. But that's bad on us too, because that's just going to record as, a rejected tender. They're not going to put in the notes like, yeah, he waited for 6 hours and then rejected the tender. Plus, we waited for however long before we rejected the tender. So it's bad on our carrier record, and it's and we lost the money anyway. We lost the time, which equals money, right? So yeah, that's my rant for the day. I don't blame Uber. I blame us. I blame me. I've done it. I'm looking at a Raycon right now where I went back and forth with this guy, and I got a rate of $50 over his offer, which is still below $2 a mile to run in the Midwest, under 400 miles or just over 400 miles. So yeah, it's just over 400 miles, upper Midwest. It's Kansas City to Illinois, outside of Chicago, and I had to get him up to like $180, $190, something like that. I had to work on him. Worked on him. Then I had to do a carrier packet, which I did right away. I had some time because I want to be able to review the Raycon. He had to get it through approvals, or whatever they call it, where they onboard you. So that took like an hour. By the time I had the Raycon, I'm driving. So we're going back and forth. I call him up. Hey, I still don't have the Raycon. Oh, I sent it. Oh, it's probably in my junk box. Let me check. Yeah, it's in my junk box. We're good. Okay, cool. Well, I get to review the Raycon, and sure enough, it doesn't give a detention amount. So what's the detention? You could tell me. I mean, I guess I could invoice you $50 an hour, which is normally what I do if I'm not agreeing to a detention on the Raycon. I should be invoiced at $75, but I invoiced $50. Detention sucks for brokers to go and get it from the shipper. Detention sucks for everybody. $50 is not horrible. But they could say, oh, industry standard's $35, and they could not pay me, then I could file on their bond, and all of this is horrible. All of this is just horrible stuff because we're all just trying to make money, Nobody's trying to screw anybody, I don't think. But looking at the Raycon come over, no discussion about 4 free hours before detention starts. You would think if you're going to be that far outside the industry standard, there would be some discussion about it. Anyway, with that being said, I'm a little frustrated. I'm a little frustrated at me for accepting these things. I didn't accept this. However, he's a broker. I can't talk to him until Monday. So I wrote him an email back saying, hey, I reviewed the Raycon. Why no discussion when you're that far outside of industry standards on detention? Why didn't that come up while we were talking about this load? Because there's a reason. In my experience, if they're putting 4 free hours, there's a reason. You're going to wait. And they don't want to have to bill their shippers. I don't blame them for not wanting to have to bill their shippers, but they shouldn't blame me for wanting to be paid for sitting around. Well, the shippers do whatever they're going to do. Yeah. Can you be unorganized? Yeah, sure. Can you be successful unorganized? Yeah. But there's a cost. There's a cost with everything. And the carriers should not be the only one absorbing that cost. And right now it seems like we are. So it's up to us, guys. We got to have these discussions. And I'm talking to me more than I'm talking to you, but I'll just talk to everybody while I'm here. We got to have these discussions on the front side. What are your detention rates? How long are the waits at this shipper? How long are the waits at the receiver? Okay, well, our standard detention is $50 an hour, $75 an hour. You're telling me that, that these guys are quick, they're going to get me in, they're going to get me out. Awesome. Then that shouldn't be a problem for you to put $50 an hour accessorial on this Raycon. That shouldn't be a problem for you to put $75 an hour accessorial on this Raycon. You're telling me it's in and out. What's the big deal? Just type it in there, send it back over. 4 hours? Oh, 4 hours free on the front side? Well, I need a higher rate, or I need you to put, I need you to take that out of that Raycon. So we're going to see what's going to happen here. We'll see if this guy writes me back on Monday. If not, I'm going to be calling him. I'm going to be in my dock at 6:30, hopefully, or damn close to it. So I'll be calling him pretty early. But yeah, there's my rant. Thanks for watching my channel. Please like, subscribe. Please tell people about it. I just like to, have a bigger footprint. I'd really like to go live someday. It just looks like a lot of fun to me. So it's just like, 987 more to go. Just a mere 987. Just a mere. Hey, Wesley, Elijah, Tanya, if you guys are watching this, I love you. I'm thinking about you. Looking forward to seeing you. Bye-bye.